Clark Howard from National Geographic, most tornadoes happen in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and Florida. Tornadoes have been reported on every continent but Antarctica. They have been most documented in North America, where an estimate of 1,200 tornadoes happen per year. Today, I will inform you about tornadoes. Knowing about tornadoes is important because we live in Kansas, which is considered in Tornado Alley, which is the blue shaded area. Knowing about them can help you realize how dangerous they are and how important it is to take shelter and not stand outside and watch the tornado. I've been interested into storms since I was little, and I've always watched storms when they happened, and I loved chasing tornadoes when I was younger. I've seen a few tornadoes in my lifetime too. Today I will inform you on tornadoes, including what a tornado is and its life cycle, different types of tornadoes, and destructive tornadoes in Kansas history. First, let's learn what a tornado is and how it is formed. The first thing to know is what exactly a tornado is. A tornado is a dark-shaped cloud. It's shaped like a funnel and sometimes has debris around it. It has high winds, and its diameter can range from a few feet to a few miles. The winds go from 20 to 300 miles per hour. It can go counterclockwise or clockwise, but mainly goes clockwise. Now we'll talk about the Enhanced Fugitive Tornado Damage Scale. This is a scale that they use to determine how much damage that the tornado did. According to NOAA, the Fugitive Tornado Damage Scale was developed in 1971 by T. Theodore Fugitive of the University of Chicago. In 2007, they made it into the Enhanced Fugitive Tornado Damage Scale to better predict the tornadoes. The second thing to know is the tornado's life cycle. The life cycle, it starts with a wind shear up here, and it's horizontal moving. And then it needs a warm updraft from the sun, and that usually comes down from Mexico, down the south. And then it forms into a storm and to two vortexes. And the stronger of the two vortexes becomes the main storm and the heart of the thunderstorm, and the other one dies off. And then it becomes a supercell, which is what creates the tornado. Supercells within a thunderstorm begin with RFD, which is the roof length downdraft, and it is an area of rapidly descending air. According to Leanne McGuire, the tornado descends from a wall cloud, and that's what a wall cloud looks like. The tornado matures and causes the most damage when in the maturing stage. As the RFD surrounds and chokes off the tornado's air supply, the vortex begins to dissipate. Now that we know what exactly a tornado is and how it is formed, we will talk about the different types of tornadoes. The first type is the supercell, which we talked about, and that's the most common tornado and the most dangerous tornado. The second type is the non-supercell tornadoes, which is the least common, and usually they range from EF2 damage and less. They come from a vertically spinning parcel of air according to the National Spear Storms Laboratory. They tend to be small. The first type is a gustnado, which is just where a whirl of dust or debris. The second one is a landspout, which is pretty much the same thing, but it has no rotating updraft. The second is a waterspout, which is the same as a landspout but over water. Now that we know the different types of tornadoes, we can learn about different tornadoes in Kansas history. The first one is the the Heston tornado. It happened on March 30th, 1990. It happened at 4:34 p.m. It started in northeast of Pretty Prairie with F2 and F1 damage. The counties affected was Reno, Harvey, McPherson, and Marion. It got to Heston with F5 damage, and then it had 1 fatality and 60 people were injured. It traveled for 48 miles and did $25 million in damage, and it was 3/4 of a mile long. And then that up here shows the path of where it went through Kansas. The second tornado is the Greensburg tornado. The counties affected was Kiowa and Comanche. It started in Comanche at 9:03 p.m. It was during the night. It destroyed 90% of Greensburg. It went through Greensburg and then did a loop through Greensburg at 11 fatalities and 63 people were injured. It traveled for 26 miles total. It did $250 million in damage, and it was 1 3/4 of a mile wind width. Now that we learned about interesting tornadoes, we will review what we talked about. Today I informed you about tornadoes and what their life cycle was, the different types of tornadoes, and destructive tornadoes in Kansas history. I hope with all this information you can predict once a tornado might form and help warn others when they come. In the book Twister by Kay Davidson, the United States is already the world capital of tornadoes. Knowing about tornadoes living in Tornado Alley is important since we get most of the tornadoes. Thank you.